So, the final shape is 1 week away, and the stakes are high in more than one way. And I've talked to an extent, very extensively, about how this is financially a really difficult time for Bungie, and Sony's kind of stretched themselves pretty thin with Bungie as well, and helping them out. So, before we get into the narrative stakes, which, by the way, there will be massive spoilers in this video. So if you have not watched any of the Vidocs, the trailers, you want to go in completely blind, this is your one and only spoiler warning. Final Shape is only a week away, and I'd hate to break your blind run. But again, leave now or forever hold your peace. Okay, so those of you that don't want to be spoiled, you've left. People who are here and don't care, let's get into it. So not only is Final Shape the end-all be-all for Bungie to kind of reform themselves in the eyes of fans, as well as Sony, because let's be honest, Sony made an investment into Bungie and it hasn't paid off to the extent that they were hoping for yet. They've been patient, and again, this is kind of the last hope for Bungie to prove not only to Sony or the fans, but also to themselves, that they can put out another banger of an expansion. And everything that I've seen leads to indicate that this will be nothing but a banger as far as comparing to other fantastic expansions like Forsaken and Taken King and so on. But yeah, it's a pretty big step for Bungie to just, in the eyes of the community, to essentially gain back trust, which is something I've been talking about for the entire year up until this point, that they need to regain our trust. And in the previous videos where I've talked about why you shouldn't pre-order, or maybe why you should pre-order, I've seen a lot of mixed responses. You know, some people are like, I don't dare to pre-order at all, a regression is coming. Or some people are like, yeah, I'm pre-ordering, I don't care. If you're like me, you're probably the former. You know, you're gonna pre-order no matter what. But if you're like someone who's the latter, you know, you might take a step back, pause, and be like, I'm gonna wait for the embargoes to be lifted. I'm gonna wait for people like Datto, IGN, and Fallout Plays, you know, people who are getting a chance to review this stuff early, which, by the way, if you want that stuff as well, I'll link that in the description. Datto and IGN and a bunch of other people got to play around with the exotic weapons, armor, as well as prismatic in the new Palheart destination, and they did some site testing on stuff, so I'll make sure to link that as well if that's something you're interested in. I definitely suggest you go check that stuff out. But again, if you want to be a little bit more blind to what's going on in the Final Shape and what's dropping and so on, then I will suggest you don't do that. Just don't click on it. Anyways, from a narrative standpoint in this trailer, which I'm now showing in the background, yeah, this is some real messed up shit. Like, are we dying? Is the last city gone? Hello? It's pretty dramatic, to say the least. And, you know, I don't want to do a complete breakdown of this trailer, because you can just go watch it for yourself and make your own determinations. But man, just the gravity of the situation is huge. Something that happened in Vanilla D2, you know, we lost the Traveler, we lost the last city to Gaul, and it kind of felt like nothing happened after that. Like, sure, we were maybe a little shaken in our confidence in the Traveler and our own ability to fight off invaders, but to be completely honest, it didn't seem to matter, because the Traveler awakened, and yeah, we lost some Guardians and you know, some last city residents I'm sure died, but we didn't feel attached to them at the time, and we still don't, which is a huge narrative issue that many people have talked about. But regardless of that, the gravity has never felt as heavy as it does in the Final Shape. Like, the whole planet is gone, and potentially even, I mean, the whole universe is at stake. And to see that put into play is just astonishing. And, you know, we've always known the stakes can reach this point, but again, seeing that is just a completely different thing. So that's what I mean when I say the stakes are extremely high in both the fact that Bungie needs to prove themselves to the community and to themselves and to Sony, but they also have to nail this narrative. And this trailer, again, just because the narrative seems to be hitting this heavy note of apocalyptic proportions, doesn't mean that it's going to be a good narrative, but it does, again, present a lot of potential good storylines. And we see with Zavala that maybe the Witness is trying to manipulate him into joining him, or joining it, in its journey to, again, reshape the universe in its image, or, you know, however whatever it wants to do. It wants to essentially just get rid of everything. And, you know, maybe Zavala is, again, being manipulated by the Witness to do that. So yeah, I'm excited. Again, next week I'll be streaming, so make sure to come over on Twitch, say hi, or I don't know, don't. Like if you enjoyed the video, comment down below if you've pre-ordered the Final Shape, or if you're going to, or if you're gonna wait, whatever you decided. And subscribe if you haven't already. Helps me a lot. It's free, and I'll love you a long time if you do it. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.